The Global Latin Factor Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Global Latin Factor Podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. That's right, the one-stop place where you can find lots and lots of information about Latinos. And today, it's a very special day because we have a very special person with me. She is an artist, model, fire spinner. She's going to tell me about that. Future influencer. I'm going to tell you why. And why not? Future rock star. Vocalist for Inherit Death and Eva Cora, second vocalist. She has about or over 252K followers on TikTok, thousands of followers on IG, and subscribers on YouTube. Please introduce yourself, lady.
Hi guys, I'm Xano, and by the way, it's 352K.
I did say 352K, didn't
You
I say
said
that?
2.
350. Oh, my bad. Correction. Better hearing than I do. I guarantee you that. 352K plus. You got me? All right. So, real quickly, we're going to go ahead and do something fun to break the ice, and then we'll go ahead and get into some real questions. So, you are Latina?
Yes.
And you are Mexican?
Mexicana.
Alrighty. So this is going to be perfect questions for you. All right, here we go. And this segment, we call it Preguntas al Chile. And it sounds a little vulgar, but it's not. All it means is just we're going to get straight to the facts.
Okay.
And they're super important. You ready?
Yes.
Tacos or tortas?
Ooh, tacos.
Alrighty. We have corn tortilla, flour tortilla.
Flour.
Flour.
All the way.
Gorditas or sopes?
Gorditas, I don't really fully know exactly what they are. Same thing with the sopes.
So you go with gorditas. All right, what about, okay, so I know this about you. You love Pepsi.
Yes.
But have you ever had a Mexican Pepsi?
No, I've actually never seen one.
Really?
Yes.
We're going to have to get you one. I'm going to have to send it with Carlos. Make sure you get you a Mexican Pepsi because it's not even Pepsi, it's Pepsi. That's how you say it.
How do you say it?
Pepsi. They
Pepsi?
just mispronounce it. That's not how you do it. All right. Horchata or Jamaica or tamarindo? Agua. Which ones do you like?
Tamarindo. I like horchata, but tamarindo.
Tamarindo. Salsa verde or salsa roja?
Roja.
Menudo or pozole?
Pozole. I don't like the meat in menudo.
Really?
Yes.
You know what it reminds me of? Well, maybe you're younger than I. There's a movie called Tremor.
I've
where
never seen
there's
it.
aliens, they in the ground and they blow them up. I don't know if they're aliens.
I've heard of it. But
But-
I'm more of an aliens versus predator.
But when they blew up, like the gut stuff looks like that. So
Ooh.
that's why I feel you on that. Churros or sopapillas?
Ooh, sopapillas.
So you are of age, I know so, because I stalked your TikTok. Corona, Dos Equis or Modelo?
Ooh, Dos Equis. That's
Oh,
not
Dos-
even a question.
Ooh, all day, every day. Even I don't drink no more, but it used to be my
I
to-go
can't drink
to.
right now either.
Tequila or mezcal?
Ooh, tequila.
Yes, good choice. Do you know what mazapan or dubalin is? The
No.
candies? So mazapan is the one that it's like this, is made out of peanuts.
Is that the little circle
The
one?
little circle one.
Yes.
Or,
Okay, I
and
love
then
those.
dubalins is the one with the little spoon. It's like creamy.
Yeah, I don't like
You don't like
those.
that? All right, she likes mazapan. All right, Valentina or tapatio sauce? Ooh.
Tabasco?
All right, Tabasco. Let me put that. I'm gonna put that also as an option. All right, so you like conchitas, like breads?
Yes. So
Okay.
in my hometown, we used to have this bakery, Marquez Bakery in San Angelo, Texas, and that's where I've always seen like the Jarritos bottles and
yeah.
the Mexican cocas, and
Nice.
that's where I used to always get my pan dulce.
Okay, so you know the conchas, they got like different flavors. They got, well, I don't know if they're flavors, it's more like colors. They got the brown
Yeah.
ones, the white ones, or the pink ones. Which did you like the most?
The white ones.
The white ones.
Yeah.
All righty. All right, moving on to if you have a margarita, do you like sugar or salt on your rim?
Salt.
All day. All righty. Refried beans or borracho beans?
Refried.
All right. And the last one, cumbia or salsa dancing?
Cumbia.
Cumbia. All righty. Mexicana to the T. All right. So we're going to start with this question right here. I know if you've been asked questions before. I know you're probably on TikTok live often. However, I just want to ask you this. What 3 questions when you were coming over here do you wish I would ask you about?
Mainly just about bringing my Mexican culture into my music and, you know, actually expressing it and my religion with it.
Right.
Not a lot of it gets related at all because they just see what I put out there, and I don't put out there that I even acknowledge, you know, the race part of it, nor do I really acknowledge my religion too much unless it gets brought up.
Okay, so let's start with that. So tell me, what is the genre of music that you mostly sing? Because again, you're a vocalist for 2 bands, but what is it that the genre that it falls under?
So with Eva Cora, I would say it was more industrial metal, and then Inherit Death is death metal.
Death metal. Okay, and so there's not a lot of Latinos in that you know of?
Not that I know of, no. I have heard of one girl, and I don't even really know her name, and I haven't really seen her band play much at all. But I've seen a lot of Latino, like, guitarists, and my friend Daniel Contreras, he's an amazing shredder.
Yeah. You did a TikTok on him, didn't you?
Yeah, he actually, in Entombment, he's the vocalist for them, actually.
Nice.
But I don't really see it often at all. Hardly.
Okay.
So,
and does that bring something again? Because we talked about it before we started. I know that you said, is it something that you like to talk about as far as being a Latina, or is just part of you, or you just want to be like everybody else? I feel like it's like I'm just a human being. Though it so happened to be that I have roots there from, you know, a different country, but at the end of the day, like, I'm American. You were born here, right? So you're American. So is that the reason why maybe you don't like to talk about it too much, or you don't mind, or you don't care, or it's never been brought up that nobody asked you about it?
Somebody has asked me about it. So on a TikTok live, there was a girl who came up and said, how does it feel to be one of the only Latinos in the genre that you're in? And immediately I was like, why would you even ask that question? You know, to me, when I'm on stage with everybody else, or when I'm sharing a stage with other artists, I want to see everybody as one, as a unity, because that's what music does, is it brings everybody together. Yeah. It's not about who's better or who sings better or growls better. You know, it's about all being one. And I don't want to see like, oh, okay, there's a white guy over there. Oh, okay, there's, you know, someone else over here. Or there's, oh, hey, there's my fellow Mexican over there. Yeah. I don't want to do that. I want to see everybody as just, you know, as you. I don't want to see you for what you look like. Okay,
so Ellen Ochoa's astronaut, right? When she went to space and she flew so many hours in space, she said that when she was over there, like, all the people, they didn't really care if she was a female and she was Latina. They cared that if she could do the job. Exactly. You know what I mean? So it kind of like sort of see it that same way. Like, you just care to do. Everybody enjoy the music first of all, bring it together and just see everybody as like one, you know. We're just there for the same reason, to listen to the music, not to like look at him, es un güerito, or look at her, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I like that. All right, what other question did you wanted me to, or the religion part? Okay, so tell me about that, because I don't know, honestly, a lot of the type of genre of music I have heard a little bit. I'm not too into it. I'm not saying I can't get into it, but I just honestly haven't. But to me, just looking from the outside, as like ignorant, you can say, it looks dark. It looks a little evilish, devilish type of vibe. You know what I mean? Yes. So maybe it's my ignorance that I don't know. Just like literally, because I'm the one making those judgments. I'm the one seeing that, right? So is it like that, or is it not really like that? Or how will you in there will see it?
So I am a believer in Christ. I am. I was raised that way. I grew up that way. I used to lead praise and worship. You know, that's how I was raised to be. Right. And I genuinely believe. But on another live stream I had, somebody pointed out I have an iron cross behind me in my kitchen. And somebody said, hey, your cross is upside down. I was like, wait, what? And I turned around. And I was like, no, it's not. It's right side up. And they were like, well, aren't you satanic? I was like, well, what makes you think that I'm satanic? And he was like, well, you know, you explain to me why you wear all black, why you like dark things, and why you like skulls, you know, why you're a death metal vocalist. And I'm like, well, for one, I like skulls because we have them everybody has it in your head. Yeah, I was gonna say everybody has a skull. Like it's impossible. Exactly.
Your logo has a skull.
Exactly.
With a rose or a flower, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's like, I can see where it is, because there are some bands out there who are satanic.
Right.
There are some bands out there, and I've heard in some of the songs, I'm like, yeah, I like this song. Okay, this is cool. And then I hear Hail Satan, and I'm like, okay, never mind.
Okay.
Just because, I can see that.
So is there a conflict within the genre, the community for that? Of that, people that are like you, they just okay. Well, from what I see is that you do it for the art, for the performing art of this type of genre, and that's what you do it for. Even though you're a firm believer in God, right?
Yes.
Okay, but is there other people that do it for different reasons, and is there any clash at all whatsoever?
To be honest, there kind of can be. For example, like at my church, we have a lot of the... Somebody's
going to trip out. They say that you're going to church right now. You know that, right?
Probably. Me and my fiance have both sat in a sermon, and he was an older guy. He had been in a band before, and he was telling us, he's like, it led us to, satanic things. It led us to heroin. It led us to drugs. It led us to all of this. He said, so that's... being involved in this kind of thing. And he had no idea. We had no idea who this guy was. Right. He was just a guest speaker at our church. And so it's one of those things. It's like people automatically think that that's what it is, because they automatically think that those type of vocals are satanic vocals. Right. So that's how they see it. Memphis Mayfire, one really, really good band. They are believers in Christ. Right. And they're pretty much, they consider themselves a band for the lost souls, in a way. So they do talk about it. There's one that says, I'm a product of mistake, but I'm here, and I'm here to bring life to people and show people.
So what does it mean about lost souls? Can you explain to me a little bit more on that?
So basically, I guess in a way, people like me, everybody struggles with their faith. Right. Everybody goes through issues. Everybody has battles in life, and everybody has things that they encounter on a daily basis that they fight with. And sometimes you forget to ask for Christ and ask him to be there for you. And when you listen to songs like that, it's like they're in Memphis Mayfire is in my playlist. So even just so much as recognizing or Memphis Mayfire popping up, it's like, oh yeah, okay, you know what? You're right. I'm listening to you. Yeah. And I know he's here. Okay. So you mentioned something earlier and I forgot to say it, and I apologize. You were recently engaged. Yes, as of last night. Last night. Yes. Big congratulations. Thank you. Taylor, right? Taylor Dennis, yes. Okay, so tell me the thing about TikTok, the little thing that they nickname him something. You don't like to talk about Metal Dwight. Huh? Metal Dwight. Okay, so that's a metal guy supposedly, right? So because Dwight first Schrute. Of all, I'm jealous of his hair. He has great long hair. Even though I got long hair, I don't got hair like he does. I always promised myself I would never date anyone with hair longer than me. And I've even told an ex before. It's really? Like, if your hair grows longer than mine, you have to cut it. Wow. I've always said that. And then I met him, and I'm like, fine. Well, congratulations on the engagement. First of all, if we can get a little close-up. No, we can't get a close-up, Carlos, on the ring. Look at that. That is neat. It's got a ruby heart on it, and it's got 2 skulls on the side. Yeah, because we all have skulls. I don't know if you know that. We kind of have skulls. All right, we got to close up on it. So, okay, congratulations. I'm glad y'all found each other and that you were able to look past the longer hair. Yes, unfortunately. And then another thing that I saw on TikTok. Okay, you want to hear a joke? Oh, my God. You want to hear a cat joke? A cat joke? Yes. Okay, yes, I'm interested in this. Just kidding. Oh, my God. Hey, tell Carlos the duck joke. Oh my God! Come on, do it one time. You ready, Carlos? I don't remember it. Yeah, you do. What kind of drug ducks use? What? Yeah, what kind of drugs? What's a duck's favorite drug? Quack. I was tripping out when I was watching those videos, and first of all, I believe because it was like
a couple of days maybe when you told him the joke. Like, maybe your engagement was in jeopardy because of that joke. 'Cause it wasn't bad. I thought it was hilarious, but it was funny.
They're horrible jokes.
They are
it's
horrible
just funny
jokes.
because it's so horrible.
Just like my kitten joke. I think it's one of the best jokes ever.
I might steal that.
I don't know about that quack. Hey, go ahead. You can have that one. I'll let you use. I'll be watching TikTok. Yeah, I remember that joke.
I'll give you cred.
Okay, so you are a religious person.
Yes.
You do it for the art. It's not all the other things. Even though, again, it's all in our perception. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know. Like I said, I'm ignorant. I'll admit that I don't know. And looking from the outside, that's what it looks like to me. But I know it's not like that.
It's all about your protection on yourself, too.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm protected by God. I know that I'm surrounded by his angels. So no matter what I do, you know, they keep me safe.
Have you had something like that makes you say something like that? Like an incident, like not an incident or something that you were really like, oh, wow, there has to be something from up above.
To be honest with you, 3 years ago, I actually swallowed a bottle of pills because I thought that was going to be my last resort. And
really?
When I woke up, the things that I saw and the things that I experienced, I can't say that he's not real. I can't.
So things got really bad 3 years ago that you wanted to just end it at that time.
I didn't think I had anyone. I didn't think I had any resort. I was kind of homeless, and I was staying with a friend. I had just split up with my ex-fiance. You know, I was having some family troubles, and I didn't know what to do.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? This world's going to be better off without me. And little did I realize in that moment, though, that I would hurt so many people around me, and especially family. And even my family realized, like, you know, life is really, really short.
It is.
And
it is very much so.
It brought out the people that really, you know, especially in my family, the people who were really, really going to be there for me and keep going.
Yeah. So did they end up taking you to the hospital and all that?
Yes. I did spend 3 days in a rehab center because they wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to continue.
Right.
And I had actually worked for a state-supported living center. So I worked for intellectually disabled individuals. I would take care of them and stuff. And so even some of the nurses were like, don't you work in a mental hospital? I'm like, yes. And they were like, so why are you here? And I'm like, I would explain the story to them. And they were just kind of like, you seem normal, though. And I'm like, for the most part, yeah,
right?
I am. It was just kind of a weak moment. And even in those times, I spent the whole 3 days reading National Treasure.
So during that time, whenever I imagine you probably got really high or something like that. So was there any?
I fainted.
You fainted.
That was the only thing, is I was just real, because it was my anxiety meds that I was taking. So in that moment, I just started taking the whole bottle to where, like, I couldn't even feel what I was doing.
Right.
And I remember walking out into the living room where I was staying, and I just took one look at my friend who was with me, and I was like, I think I made a mistake, and I just fainted. And then when I woke up, I guess seconds later, I don't know how long I was out, really didn't even get to talk about that. I just remember waking up, and I saw some things. I was surrounded by shadows. I felt like something was in me that wasn't there. I was laughing at the pain that my friend was going through, and it was like the funniest thing in the world to me. Like when you and I are laughing at the jokes, cracking up, that's what I felt in that moment, and I knew it was like, okay, something's wrong. Something's here that doesn't need to be. And it took a couple months. I was just going through my own personal prayer, because I don't really like to reach out to a lot of people. If I'm going through something on my own, it's like, okay, I'm just going to deal with it by myself. I'm going to learn how to handle it. So I went through a period of prayer, and I went to church for the first time on an Easter Sunday. Right. And my pastor looked right at me from the stage, and she was just staring at me for a minute playing piano, and I was like,
like she knew something.
It was like she knew something, and she knew what had happened, but she didn't know really how I felt about the whole situation. But she walked right up to me. She said, you have the spirit of death following you. Not a spirit of death. She said, you have the spirit of death following you.
That's different.
It was very different. And in that moment, she prayed over me, and I've felt free ever since. Okay. And what was crazy is I never told anyone. I was like, I was never alone in a room. When I was alone, I never felt like I was alone. And that's how I know, okay, this crap's real. demons are real, Satan's real, God is real. And I turned to God, and ever since then I can't say he's
Do you remember that moment, how it felt whenever that you it's almost like a surrender, right? Like
it was like it just disappeared. It was just like somebody just walked out of a room. That's cool. What it felt like. That's
awesome. I'm glad you're here. I really am.
I am too.
And not only that, but then you have like Luna, my daughter, yes. Luna Isabella is now here. And imagine if it wasn't, that you will be okay, then she wouldn't be here to see this. Because it's a beautiful world. It really is.
It is.
And then you're right, because I feel you on that, because I'm a veteran, so I've been to Iraq and stuff and came back. And I came back in a really dark place for a little while. And I never really acted on anything, but at times, like the thought of just like, what if I just drive off this cliff? And it sounds crazy, right? But that thought does come. And whether you want it or not, it's kind of like a little bit suicidal. Not as much as you, but at the same time, it's like, what am I thinking?
Yeah, you know? Why would I think that?
Yeah, but at the same time, like you, I went through dark times of acting up and like hurting myself. Like you don't realize. Somebody told me one time, and I believe it, right, that sometimes we feel like we need to punish ourselves, and that's the reason why we have certain things like accidents and things like that. Like it's like we bring them to. And I know I remember that TikTok you did about speaking into existence.
Yes.
Because I remember that. So whenever I was saying things like that, and then I was damaging myself. Like I constantly, bad things kept happening to me, but at the same time, it's like I was okay with it happening because I needed to somehow in my mind was cleansing. You know what I mean? And like you, it's like I don't need nobody. I didn't need nobody. I can do it for myself. And the same thing, like you, is like I knew that the man upstairs had me. You know, I was never felt alone, no matter what kind of stuff was going on.
It's not your time.
It's really not, because all kinds of things could have happened to me, and I was fine. And I'm glad, again, that you're here.
Thank you.
I appreciate that you're being here, and then we get to share this interview. Okay, so another thing. When did you begin to do music? Because I remember watching the video of you at 14, and you were doing the Star Spangled Banner, and it sounded good, really good. But when did you decide that music was the thing that you wanted to get into?
My mom told me this story. One night I was asleep, actually, and she said I was singing in my sleep. And I was like, really? And she said, yeah. She said, you just started singing. She said, it was so beautiful. And she's like, Mija, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just singing. And I just kept singing. And it was a song that she had never heard.
You remember how old you were?
I don't remember, honestly. I think I was like maybe 9, 10.
That's cool.
And when she told me, she reminded me a couple years later. And I had started, actually in 5th grade, I joined my first choir. And this was back in elementary school. But as soon as I joined the choir, a week later, my dog ate some of my shoulder.
Ouch. What kind of dog was that?
The blue heeler.
Ouch. A blue heeler attacked you. Those things are so peaceful. What happened?
I made it mad.
Did you pinch his tail?
No. So we had just gotten another little pup, and we were going to use it for our goats and stuff at the property. And I ended up using the water hose, and whatever was in the water hose, I was just trying to scare him and fling the water at him. Well, he didn't like that. So,
not at all.
Yeah, no, not at all. So I ended up being taken out of school for a month, and I missed out on the choir. But I remember that was the one thing that I really, really wanted to get back to. So I kept going to the school, though.
Right.
So I could get my homework, do what I needed to do. And then in 6th grade, I joined an actual full-year choir with my middle school. And then 7th grade, my teacher was like, all right, we started doing auditions. And she was like, okay, I want you in varsity choir. So I was like, okay, cool. Didn't think nothing of it. Didn't really know that there was a full talent there. So then halfway through 7th grade, I started getting picked for solos.
Nice.
And then 8th grade, same thing, kept going. Auditioned for my freshman year choir. Then my teacher was like, and that's where Anna came from. Is my teacher. Her name was Sunday Bullock. She actually, she's married now. But she actually told me, she was like, I really wish I had your voice. But she couldn't say Kiana, so she would always start calling me Anna.
The last name. The last letters.
The last 3, yeah.
Yeah.
So she started calling me Anna. And she always told me, she was like, man, I wish I had your voice. And I'm like, oh, but you sing amazing. And so I was like, okay. So I started trying to progress my voice. So then sophomore year came around, got picked for varsity again. And then same thing, junior, senior year. But then little by little, I was getting picked for national anthems at my school.
Yeah,
and so I started doing that. I started doing military salutes and singing for those. And then after a while, after I graduated, then I did a national anthem for a wrestling event that we had at a car show.
That's ace.
It was really fun. And I just kept singing. I ended up getting involved in my church. I used to run sound for them and run lights. And then I started helping lead praise and worship because I had a pastor that was like, no, I want you to start bringing your ministry out of the sound booth.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. So then I started doing that. So he started hearing me sing. I joined the big church choir and leading the youth praise and worship. And just kept going with it.
But then, okay, so one thing is all this that you're telling me, but then the next is like, when did you begin to fall in love, or did you always like this kind of music?
I've always so the death metal stuff or the metal stuff. My brother, him and I were kind of estranged for a while growing up because you know, his mom and my dad had split up. Well, I ended up finding him on Facebook right before my quinceañera.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, I want you to come. Like, I want you to come meet dad or come hang out with dad again. And so he's like, yeah, okay, I'll go. Well, then he started introducing me to Sleeping with Sirens and Pierce the Veil and Escape the Fate, Falling in Reverse, all those bands. And I'm like, okay, I like this stuff.
Right.
I kept with it.
How was the quinceañera?
It was awesome.
And where you say your hometown is?
San Angelo.
San Angelo. So that's where you had the quinceañera?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you fall in love with it. You get all these bands. This is the first time you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
Ever. And
Ever.
then it's just like love at first hear kind of sort of?
Yes.
All
Paraphernalia is one of the songs that me and my brother used to sing together, and he would like try to hit those high pitch at the end of the songs. Like, you'd have to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's just, so then I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. And then as time went by, I kept listening to that stuff. And then my mom had been introducing me to like Joan Jett and Kiss and Def Leppard and stuff like that.
The old school.
Yeah. Judas Priest was another one, and she invited me to a gig, and it was a Kiss gig with a Def legend.
Your mom?
My mom invited me to
Your
these
mom
gigs.
invited you to?
My mom is hardcore. Like, she
Yeah?
loves rock and roll, and I mean, she's listening to Judas Priest, and
Yeah.
there's a song called Breaking the Law. She's listening to it as she's getting pulled over. The cop actually pointed it out. It was so funny. She called me, and she's like, Mija, I'm listening to Breaking the Law, and the cop's like, nice song, and I'm like, oh my God, can you turn the radio down?
She would have turned her phone on. She would have gone viral for ages.
Well, if that time was, I think we still had like the Razor phones.
Oh yeah. Not possible.
Exactly. So we didn't get Blackberries. That was the one thing that I always wondered about. My sister and my niece had Blackberries.
I didn't like them anyways. Okay, so. But if you think about it, though, it's always been part of you. Even though you kind of sort of discover it later, but your mom has been probably since you were a little bitty listening to this kind of music.
Yes. I can't think of the other one other than Joan Jett. She's another There's another female. There's Evanescence. She introduced me to that. Yep. Paramore.
Yep,
she introduced me to that, too.
Do they fall under that? It was more like...
They're more like
rock.
A punk.
Yeah, punk rock type.
So I was definitely started out in punk rock, but then little by little, and I allowed my boyfriend to kind of influence, or fiance, I keep forgetting.
It's all good. It's only been one day.
Yeah, exactly, one day.
Yeah.
I allowed him to kind of influence a little bit, but even then, my ex-fiance, actually, so he was a huge Metallica, Lamb of God, and then I kind of started liking Wage War. So the original Blueprints album is what started me on those vocals. It was like, okay, I'm liking this. So then I started liking Wage War, and I would only listen to Wage War plus like the punk rock stuff. And then I started, hitting the radios on Spotify and seeing what else would come up. And then I think my next love was Beartooth. I love Beartooth now. And then it just kind of grew from there. Yeah. And that was probably the most recent total the past 4 years
Okay,
just kind of growing.
so about 4 years is when you started doing the actual what you're currently doing, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
remember the first song? I think I remember, if I'm not mistaken, the TikTok it was. I know it's in TikTok though. I can't remember. What
My
was
first song actually was "Crazy in Love," is when I
Crazy in
tried
Love.
it
I
and
shoulda
I
known.
hid it.
it? Yeah.
I hid those vocals because I still sang over them, and then I would just try to incorporate it with covers because I wanted to do covers of songs that I wanted to hear in the way that I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started doing that, and little by little it grew. And then I saw, I heard this band called Ginger, and I was like, okay, there's a girl singing and there's a guy doing vocals, and my fiance was like, no, that's a girl. And I said, no, it's not. I said, that's a guy. Like, I was for sure, that's a guy.
Yeah.
Like, we got into an argument over it for like a 10-minute argument. I'm like, no, it's a guy. I know
That's
for
funny.
a fact. And then he was like, okay, no, come home. We're going to watch this video. So he pulled it up on YouTube on the TV.
Was he right?
And it was a live video. And it's the girl. I was like, I got to do it. I was like, I've got to do it. If she can do it, I want to do it.
Yeah.
So then I started practicing even more. And I actually covered Pisces by Ginger. So she sings first. And then she does the death metal or does her vocals. And
What
then
is it called? Okay, so you're saying, because again, this is all foreign to me. So all the bands that you're naming, I'm probably gonna check some of them. But
hers, I think, is Gent.
Okay.
Gent, it's Dgent. I think that's her genre.
okay, so the singing is one thing, right? That she does. But then I thought it was like growling or whatever. But what is the actual term for it?
Screaming, I
Screaming?
guess. So for if it's
I heard
a
of screamo before. Is that a
screamo,
thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
That's what it is?
normies call it.
Okay, that's what normies.
Normies call it.
Is that
yeah.
what? Is that we? Is
Yeah,
that
a
what
little bit,
normie? Oh
little bit.
shoot, I'm a normie. Watch out.
Yeah. So her vocals, I would say, are pretty much a growl to me.
Yeah.
I don't really know technical terms, to be honest. And I even teach vocals.
Hey, that's nothing
I
wrong
don't
with
even know. I consider myself a female growler. I'm not a screamer.
You're a
The
growler.
screamers, yeah.
Okay, so I was watching the video that you did from the performance that Dallas, Tree Dallas.
Trees?
Yeah, Trees.
Mm-hmm.
And I was lost for a second because I thought that the guy, and I thought it was your fiance with the long hair, was actually the one doing. And then I realized that you're the one that had the mic the entire time.
Mm-hmm. And he's not even in that band.
And I can see why people think it might be a little bit like devilish because he sounded crazy. And then when it tripped me out the most is because I saw you were the one doing it. And I'm like, what?
Yep.
I was like, where is it coming from?
To be honest, I don't even know. I just the practice and after seeing.
Does it come from
Tots-
your gut or does it come from your throat? Diaphragm.
So I use a lot of my diaphragm
Uh-huh.
muscles for breathing techniques, and that's where I can maintain a lot of that breathing and control. So I force it to come from the bottom down here. I don't know why I say up. But
Okay.
Down here.
Do you want me doing something? If you don't mind, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you would like,
my
if you're able to do one, even if you're a little bit further up,
I was gonna say I'd rather be farther.
yeah,
Oh my
if you
God.
want to, I would greatly appreciate it to show everybody what I'm talking about. Cause it's
Always warm up before this.
do you? I don't want to hurt your vocals. If you
Oh,
have anything
no.
going on, but if you can, okay, do first a little bit of the regular singing, light singing, and then if you can do one, just one. We have people next door, but we'll be okay if you can do one.
Okay.
Not too
I can't
crazy
even-
loud if it's
So I
okay.
can't even think of a song right now.
The one you were doing at Trees.
The tree. Well, I can't sing that
Why is that?
because I wasn't singing on
Oh,
there. I
oh.
only sing a little bit. I harmonize with her. I harmonize with Sherry. She's the lead vocalist.
Okay, even better. The one you were telling me you did in Spanish.
¿Me necesita?
Me necesita. Just do a couple of bars, and then I want to do the one from Trees.
Let me do Pisces.
Okay,
'cause
okay,
She
okay.
sings that one. That's the one I'm more comfortable with.
All right.
God.
My bad. I just like,
No,
I
you're
need to
good.
see it. I need to see it.
Step forward and meet a new sunrise. I can't even go.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. That's all we needed. And now, and now,
Golly,
and
no.
now the other one.
Skulongo boys.
That's good. That's
God,
good.
it's so loud.
No, it's all good. Oh my goodness, that is wild to me. Why are you so embarrassed? Okay.
I'm shy.
I know. I see that. You're not shy, first of all. I think you have.
When it comes to this, yes.
But you have like every person that's been successful. Like if you look at the blueprint, it's been church, choir, to different things. I'm just saying. I'm not predicting anything, and that's the reason why I put future rock star, because you're following the path of certain things, coming from adversity to like near death experience to realizing that it's worth living, and then you know what I mean, to where's you're heading. I don't know where you're heading. I just know that we're right here in this moment, but the track record that I see from just about everybody that's made something for themselves, it's kind of similar. I'm just saying.
I feel like I'm not going as far as quick as I want to.
And that's the thing with everything, because, okay, social media doesn't help, first of all.
No.
And we wanted to, I don't have 352K followers. Whether it's just from doing the funny stuff or just your music, I don't have that. You know what I mean? And I know it's taken a while to build up to that. But at the end of the day, you're seeing progress.
Yeah,
right?
and that actually happened really quick.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
I can imagine. But then you have a bigger audience. They can see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But I have more people who judge what I do.
But who cares, Yeah. We know, what we do? We live a life like that. And then what kind of life is that?
Exactly.
Because
don't live a life limited.
Because it's not. Because after a while, it's like, what is the point? Like, first, this is one thing that I say a lot of the times, because I'm older than you, a lot older than you. But it came to a point where I realized that is true. Like, okay, how much money are they putting in my pocket? How much interaction do I really have with them every day? And then I started narrowing it down. I was like, what are they really doing for me? Besides in my mind, making it seem like I'm giving them that kind of attention. And it's just like not necessary. They said if you give somebody attention like that, you allow them to live rent-free in your mind. And I have no tolerance for that no more, It's not necessary.
I'm learning that, and I'm waiting till I get to that point. And honestly, I can't wait till I can get to the point where I stop caring about what others say or think about me. And especially since recently I went through a major, major battle with, talk on social media, someone trying to blast me on social media and accuse me for something that I'm not doing.
Okay.
And
you mind talking about it? Or
honestly, I promised I wouldn't, but it's something that it's like, there's a lot of cyberbullying out there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And there's a lot of people like me who care, and they want to befriend these people and they want to trust these people. But sometimes it's really hard, especially when they know that anyone's words can get to your head. And for me, that's me. It's not about being a people pleaser. I want people to know that I care about them, and I want to be able to be there for people. But when somebody shuts that down and turns it negative, then it's just like, okay, what did I do wrong? What am I not doing that I'm not making an impact on you? And my problem is I want to make an impact on everybody. Yeah. And sometimes I let my emotions get the best of me, and I've almost given in to temptation. I have given into that temptation of wanting to blast back and wanting to throw back those jabs. And and I don't want to name who or anything like that, and a lot of people will know who because they've seen it.
But you know what I like about you a lot in social media? You're so freaking nice, first of all. Regardless of the look or whatever. Again, we make our own. We make our own like thoughts of how you are. Our own perception is built within us. Like, you don't see stuff from the outside. You see stuff from the inside out every single time. So whatever is within you, that's what you're gonna see. If I was like such a cruel, dark person, that all I could see was dark, regardless of that. You know. So what I like about you is some of the even the guy about Pepsi or something that they keep bullying him, or not bullying him, but going at him for a long time. You'll be like, hey man, just leave this guy alone. He already learned his mistake.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And then I made it worse.
Oh, but that at the same time, look how kind you were to just like, forget this guy, let him be and let him make it. And then other times where people make comments funny, like, this funny guy, you know what I mean?
He's a strong guy. He took that like a champ. I was just like,
I thought it was hilarious because you still had mercy on him to just like, hey, leave him alone. I know it wasn't your intention to make it worse, but again,
it was a typo.
But you go, yeah, angle, angel. My God, I saw that too. Like, okay, guy, but okay. anyways, you're so freaking nice. And one thing that it took a long time, and you're talking about people that like philosophers, right? You want to be the change in the world, you have to start within here.
That's the thing, is everybody wants to change the world, but nobody wants to change themselves.
Okay. But what you're doing, you want to influence a lot of people, but you got to change it here to make sure you're good. And then after that, it'll fall. It just like you'll trickle to everybody else. It will. But I do appreciate the kindness, though, because you could go that route and be the negative, be like, get this fool and finish him.
Oh, trust me, I have a lot of leeway, especially on, this person who was really trying to hurt me, especially after I tried to care for them. It was like, I have a lot that I could hurt back, but it's like, why? For what reason? Because what I want to do is, anything that I do, I don't have negative intentions for.
Right.
So when somebody has a negative ill will or negative intention towards me, then yes, that hurts me.
Have you ever heard a saying, sometimes we have to, whether we want it or not, empathize with the people that are trying to hurt us, because hurt people
hurt people. I was about to say that.
You know what I mean? So first of all, it's real simple to block, and you only give attention to whoever you please whenever you wanted to, even in social media. Because
thing is I never used to believe in blocking anyone ever. And even if you do block someone, they can still create fake accounts.
But you still have to protect this, right? This is more valuable than anything. That how many accounts they're trying to build, it's so much easier to have peace of mind than to have all that energy get going. You know what I mean? And just keep it going. Because again, even though you empathize with them, and hurt people do hurt people, but after a while, like, hey, that's enough over here. It's enough over here. You can go ahead and
at this point,
move
keep
on.
talking. I don't care. It's not even my thing anymore.
And you know what's crazy? They will find somebody. I'm sorry for the next person, but they will move on and find somebody else too. And hopefully they'll be okay and find healing. But that's what happens. It really does. Is what happens. So I hope that
you know what? And there is a next person, and I am hoping and praying to God that they are strong enough to handle this situation, because I'm seeing it and I'm hearing about it, and I'm like, Lord, that's not something that I would wish upon anyone.
Yeah. I
took it as long as I could, and I'm still probably going to take it for I don't know how long. But for this next person.
But you can make your mind to that. That's it. Like I said, that was I mean, again, I sound like I know what I'm doing and saying or advising or whatever, but ultimately you are the buck stops here. You're the ultimate, like, I'll allow it until whenever I want to. You're not obligated to anything in this world. It trips me out with people who are like going back and forth or whatever, like, nope. Block. See ya. All right, I don't know you. Or if I did know you, there's 7.9 billion people in the world. 7.9 billion people in the world, right? If we so happen to be like us, we have an interaction. That's crazy, right? We're not going to get to see. To give attention to a couple of individuals that is negative, knowing that there's so many other potential people that we can meet. There's other people
who are important.
That not only that, but can have a better benefit and have a better conversation and a more... I think life a lot of the time is about memories that we create either with people or just in general, right? So do I want to remember this bad memory and continue to go, or give another potential to somebody else that's waiting that we can meet and like have a great memory or a great friendship?
Yeah, and what I've done lately my biggest thing is taking my daughter swimming. Especially in this little battle, it's like, okay,
that's cool.
You know what? Let's go for a swim. Even though it rained, or even though there's storms and trees everywhere, okay, there's a little bit of leaves in the pool, whatever. Let's just go swimming, because then that's another memory. It takes my mind off of it. Seeing my daughter happy, she likes to be in her little floaty by herself. She doesn't like to be held, but then when I can't hold her without the floaty. Like, but she wants to go by herself.
Yeah.
So seeing that and seeing her grow, it's like, all right, I got to do more with my family. Okay, I got to do more with my bands.
Yeah, there's so much. That's so much more important attention that they could be put into that, people like that you love, and things like that. So I'm only saying because I ain't got no friends, but I focus on my family because that's
plenty of friends, I'm sure.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm a bad friend. First of all, I admit it. I am. I'm the bad friend. Like, not that I'm a bad friend, I'm a bad person. It's just that I didn't know how to be a better friend than I needed to be. And I'm just a bad friend. I'm not a good friend. I consider
Are
myself.
you one of those that's like somebody texts you and you forget to respond?
Not even. I think I was too good of a friend that became a bad friend. You know what I mean? Like I was too good with no expectations, but then
The more you got used, you finally realized.
kind of not necessarily used, but I see like even then I had tolerance. That once that tolerance ran out, it's easy for me to dip and be on my way because I remember 7.9 billion people in the world. It's not too crazy. There's no obligation and things like that. I'd say I'm a amazing person, like just in general, like. But at the same time, I have work and I understand it to be a better person. And like you said, certain things you call into existence. Maybe it wasn't for me to continue being around certain people, and then I have to either outgrow them or continue to grow more and meet different people. You know, things like that. All right. So, how did Inherit Death? How did that come to be? You the lead vocalist for that one.
Yes.
Okay, how did that come to be?
So I'm in a couple of metal groups on Facebook, and I had seen someone post about that they were looking for a vocalist. And I kind of jokingly was like, hey, can I try out? And they were like, yeah, send us a link. Sure. So I was like, okay. So I sent him Pisces. And he was like, okay, hang on. I'm going to send you a couple of demos. I'm going to send you a couple of, tracks without the vocals.
Yeah.
And then just show me what you can do. And I was like, well, how about I just actually just record over the instrumental tracks and I'll just send it to you. And he was just like, yeah, sure, whatever you want. Because we have our own little mini home studio.
You have your studio, I seen.
Yeah, so I did that, and he was like, okay, let's set up a time for you to come to practice, whatever. And I was like, all right. So when I got there, they told me, they were like, you know what, we're kind of already like, yeah, we want you. You're in. So I was like, okay, cool. So I took the time.
So there was no trial.
Not really, no.
It was like, okay, you're in.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was like,
cool.
Okay, cool. And I mean, they're all a lot older. They're already all dads. I don't think any of them's a grandpa, or at least not yet, anyway.
You got it with the dad jokes too. I see that too. That one was tough though. The one about
the pirate.
No, the nose.
The nose.
Why is a nose not 12 inches, or something like that?
Oh yeah, because then it'd be a foot.
Exactly. Oh, that guy almost got it too. I told you I was all over your TikTok.
Something about a foot, right? Actually, that was the Eva Cora.
Eva Cora. That was a different
Eva Cora.
One. Okay.
So Inherit Death, I was like, what's a pirate's favorite letter? And they were like, R. And I was like, no, I think it was R, but they said the C. I can't remember what the flip-flop was. I was just like, what? No, it's the C or something like that. I can't remember.
So they probably said, it's the C. Like, no, it's R.
No, they were all saying R like that. And I was like, no, the C.
Oh, I get it now.
So I remember specifically now.
Okay, something crazy that I thought, it has nothing. The only reason why I thought about it is because you said C. Have you ever had seaweed? Seaweed, like
the dried seaweed.
Like dried seaweed, like does it taste like fish? Or does it taste like
salty?
Or does it taste like the ocean?
I don't know. I've never tasted the ocean before. I've been to Corpus, but I've never tasted.
So, a lot of people say that seaweed tastes like fish.
It didn't taste like fish because I don't like seafood.
You don't like seafood at all?
I won't do seafood.
So you never had seafood. So you
Nope.
would see. I couldn't ask you that because you'll be like, this fish. What I was trying to get is that fish don't taste like fish. They taste like the ocean because seaweed tastes like like fish.
See, seaweed tastes nothing like fish. At least not what I got from
really?
it. Yeah.
Well, it tastes just like, to me, it tastes like it. Okay, so you started with, how many gigs have you done with Inherit Death? Like as far as around here, or have y'all gone out of state?
We've all just done local, so I think about 5 or 6, to be honest, maybe 7. I stopped counting.
Really? Mm-hmm. And what venues so far have y'all touched up here in the Dallas area?
My favorite so far is Haltom Theater.
Oh, yeah.
I like love it there. Trees. No, actually, no, just kidding. That was in Eva Cora. So Haltom Theater, Mavericks, O'Reilly's. I think that's the only 3 so far because we've played at Mavericks, I think, like 2 or 3 times. Haltom Theater, we've played twice. And then I think that was it.
And do you have your own original music, or do you have covers?
It's all original.
All original from them. Mm-hmm. And do you contribute any writing at all, or do you just do
Actually,
the
no. They already had those songs before I even joined. So I kind of had to learn another vocalist's songs and kind of incorporate it and make it my own. And I did write 4 lines in Salem.
Nothing wrong with it.
Mainly because it was an awkward silence. I was like, okay, I'm just going to fill it to match the first half of the song. And then I was like, all right, it works.
And then they got it all recorded and everything?
We did, yes. And then we lost the member that actually recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're actually working on re-recording with our new members. We got a new drummer, David Sheets, and then our new bass player is one of my closest friends, Nick.
Nice.
He calls seafood sea bugs, by the way.
They are sea bugs.
Exactly. Shrimp is sea bugs.
It's a freaking roach.
Ew.
It's a roach. It's a freaking creeper. It just crawls around in the ground. Anyway,
Okay.
All right. Okay, so where can you find music with them?
So we still have our old album, our old recordings, Inherit Death on Spotify.
Nice.
And we still have some YouTube videos. But
Cool.
we do have a new Facebook page, too.
All right, so y'all go ahead and check it out. What is it again?
Inherit Death.
Inherit Death, and just like that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
How did Eva Cora? First of all, let me go backtrack. So I get it now. Like the light bulb went off as to why your name is Anna.
Anna.
And then the last name again?
Xano.
Because Kiana Lozano.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I put your name all over the place.
There's a reason for that X, though.
Why?
My mom wanted a Lexus growing up. So my middle...
Lexus, like a car?
A car, yes. So so she named me my middle name Alexis. It's Alexus. But the A, L, and the X are capitalized.
Wow, that's different.
Very. It's on my birth certificate that way.
Your birth certificate.
I've brought my birth certificate to school because my friends didn't believe me, and I had to show them. I'm like, look, it says it's capitalized.
Yeah.
So whenever I do get my name changed on like my ID and stuff like that, I'm gonna have them fix that.
That's
because
cool.
I actually really like that. So with the X being capitalized, X is always pronounced as a Z sound, like in xylophone.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, obviously not an X-ray. I don't know why I thought, but I ended up changing it to shortening it like I did my first name. But I thought it would look weird, okay, on a Z-A-N-O. So then I was like, you know what? Let me use that X. So I put the X and I changed it that way.
And it's not Anna. Anna is the way that you pronounce it correctly. Mm-hmm. All right. So I thought I had it. I was close. Not other way. Okay. Eva Cora. How did that come to be? So you're the second vocalist for Eva Cora.
Yes.
So and what does that mean though? Inherit Death. What is the name of it? What is it? Like, did they ever tell you the meaning of it?
Honestly, with Inherit Death, it's kind of like at the end, no matter what life we live, our bodies always inherit, a death. Your bodies can't live forever.
I get it now. Well, they're saying that could change soon.
All right, we're not about to turn into zombies. Don't start.
Not zombies, even different stuff. They're trying to do all kinds of stuff. We get into conspiracy theories here sometimes. Anyways, you'll hear more about it in articles later on about living longer or whatever. Anyways, okay, I get it now. Inherit death, because we really do inherit. You know what I wake up saying, and I tell this to a few people that I walk. Whenever I get up, because I do meditate.
Mm-hmm.
I do meditate a lot. I think it helps me. I think it grounds me. Not to mention grounding too. You know what that is? Like walk in the ground barefooted. Mm-hmm. Like, because it does something with the energies of the earth that keeps you grounded.
Are you native as well?
I'm Mexican, but I'm pretty sure I have a lot of native blood in me. So I wouldn't doubt it at all. And then the other thing that I do is I meditate often. I get up really early in the morning and meditate for some time. Good solid 15, 20 minutes. Because I think it helps. I think it helps rearrange things. Mm-hmm. And then not to, same thing, like I can dismiss people talking crazy, that I can give them my full attention and just like, it's not important.
Yeah.
That. So I do that. And one of the sayings that I say during the meditation is that I'm not immortal, I am mortal, and I will die one day. Mm-hmm. And I got it from a yogi from India, which is true. And it's not to scare you like, oh my God, you're going to die. Like, no, it's like we have to realize our mortality, to realize we're not here for a long time, especially being close to death, like myself going to war, and then the things that you went through. It's just like, it makes you realize, like certain things shouldn't be so important. You're right. We need to focus on the things that we need to focus on, such as things like this, and then move forward. And that's the reason why I say it. And then I meditate for some time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect in meditating. I still let crazy thoughts come on, but I realize what's happening. But I think it helps me. And I know that, like, if you ever want to consider moving up more, then I'll recommend that. Okay, so that's that inherent death is like, that's pretty interesting because I say that often. Okay, what about Eva Cora?
To be honest, I haven't asked that yet.
You haven't asked him?
No.
Oh,
so Sherry Gutierrez, she's the lead vocalist of Eva Cora.
So she is Latina too?
Well, to be honest, I don't even know. She's
Sherry?
married to a Mexican.
Oh.
I was like,
okay.
I know that.
Okay.
But she, I honestly don't know what the name means. But when I got involved, it was kind of funny. So it's a funny story.
Okay.
So this the bass player, his name is Kelly. He actually came to one of my gigs one night. Actually, I went to one of their gigs. Just kidding. I went to an Eva Cora gig, and he had already heard my vocals, and he said, "Hey, I really think that you would contribute to the band. We're probably thinking about looking into bringing someone on." So he was like, "And your vocals would fit pretty good." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure. Just let me know."
Yeah.
Well, then about a month or so went by, and Sherry actually ended up at one of my gigs at Mavericks. And she was hanging out, and she was like, "You know what? I actually like your vocals. I think that it would be a good fit if you joined." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, cool." First practice, they told me
That
what
is
had
hilarious.
happened. So the first practice that came on, and this is when I learned like a lot of this stuff. So Sherry used to actually be married to the bass player, Kelly. Sherry and Kelly used to be married. So Kelly brought it to her attention and was like, "Hey, I think Anna would really fit into the band." And Sherry's like, "This is my ex-husband. Any idea he's got stupid." So she blew it off. And Kelly was just like, "Oh, whatever." And Sherry heard me, and she was like, "You know what? He's right. That actually is a really good idea." So they brought me on, and her and I sat together, and we bonded and got really, really close.
Yeah.
And she started, we started kind of figuring out, like, where my vocals would fit in on the songs. So I was like, okay, cool. So we started practicing, figuring out what we were going to do. And then I found out she was engaged. And I was like, "Oh, really? Who are you engaged to?" "The drummer, Rico." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Okay, cool."
Such a weird thing.
It was a weird dynamic.
Yeah,
but
weird dynamic. Big
the
time.
guitar player, Caesar, he actually was the one that introduced me to everyone. I kind of had met Kelly first on social media because, when musician to musician, you kind of always naturally just add other musicians on social media.
Yeah.
So Caesar kind of brought me in and was showing me the bands, and he was talking me up and kind of helped promoting me too. And we got really close because he has a daughter named Luna too,
That's crazy.
and I have a dad named Caesar.
What?
Yeah, Cesar.
It's like meant to be.
His name is Julio Cesar. Is my dad's name.
Yeah. Name
And-
after the boxer or name after the what's that called? Julio Cesar from California, the activist.
To be honest, I don't even know.
Yeah, it's probably the activist.
I don't pay attention to a lot of things.
Okay. All right, carry on. So you were saying?
So whenever that got all brought on, I was like, okay, that's cool. But I started seeing the practices. Then that kind of was like, all right, mentally prepare myself.
Right.
So then when I jumped into the practices, they would bicker here and there. Everybody bickers with each other, especially in a band. It's like, all right, well, the bass player's not playing this right. And that same thing with my band. But then I kind of was overthinking it because I'm like, oh, okay, these two used to be married, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, in reality, it still is a little family. They get along really, really well.
That's cool.
And they're very, very mature and really close still. His daughter lives with her. So it's still a good dynamic.
Yeah, you have to be super mature to be like have that. You know what I mean? Exes getting along with each other.
And for us to all be in the same band and stuff, and then also have like me and Caesar, which is kind of the outsiders. Oh, there's Garrett too. Garrett plays keyboards and he also does vocals.
Nice.
So we're all three of us are kind of just like a little bit on the like not on the history side of it. But I think because there's history, there's still that friendship, and then Rico respects him and respects Sherry.
But there was chemistry when they brought you in.
There was chemistry with Rico, yeah.
Okay.
And then when Kelly brought me on, it's kind of one of those things that's like, all right, you're my ex, all right, you're kind of annoying, like just leave me alone. I don't want to hear anything you have to say.
That's hilarious.
So it was kind of funny for her because she was like, yeah, he was right. It was a good idea. I'm like,
Dang,
yeah.
I bet that hurt. I bet that hurt her, Kelly. I know you felt that. Ugh. I believe I said that.
Kelly was probably like, "Yeah, see, told you."
I know it. So, do they have original music as well?
All of their music is original.
Original
Yes.
as well. And where can they find it? Are you on some of the recordings now?
Well, not yet.
Okay.
So on September 10th or 11th, I think both days is when they're gonna start coming into the studio and start recording. We're gonna start recording in Arlington. Not exactly sure where, but we literally just got notifications for that today. So
that's cool.
Set aside the dates, September 10th and 11th. And we are going to start trying to fit my vocals in, re-record everything, and they're probably going to re-upload everything to Spotify and
Nice.
and some stuff on YouTube. So
you excited about that?
She does have a music video.
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
not in the music video, but she does have a music video with them, and it's actually really cool. In the beginning,
Nice.
it's kind of funny because the girls are all screaming and faking, and it's cool. It's with I think they call it Bloodthirsty on YouTube. But the original song is Bloodthirsty Whore. Excuse my language, but
Yeah.
it's we call it BTW. But that is it. She's very, very, very interesting, and I love it. It's not normal.
Yeah.
Like it's an eye catcher.
Yeah.
It definitely is an eye
is.
catcher, especially like her style and how she does it, and how she brings her energy and stuff. And it's just one of those things that I would really just want people to see.
Like I haven't seen it, but when you said interested, it had my brain going. Like I bet it would be like a dope visual to see.
It's
I'll
one of
check it
those
out.
things that even in the metal scene you don't hear often at all. She does like theatrical vocals. Like okay, don't get me wrong, homegirl can sing. She can wail out some operatic
Like opera stuff.
songs. Yeah, but
That's
she
dope.
does not. She doesn't sing that because she brings more of like a theatrical sexy vampire vibe. So it's
I
really
like that.
cool. It's really cool. And when I first heard it, I was like, this is new. And then I started to like it a lot because not even just the background music, but her dynamic that fits to it. It's just something that I really personally like too.
Okay. And then that video is out. You said that I want to see it now.
Bloodthirsty, yeah.
Yeah, I want to go check it out. I want to find it. Okay, so the are you excited? Like as far as recording, are you?
Yeah, a little nervous.
Why? You've done it before. It's not like you never recorded.
I'm nervous to do my vocals in front of anybody. I stick to the comfort zone of my little home studio, and I just stick to myself.
But you do realize that when you're recording, you put the video out. There's like thousands of people, even though it's not
because
at the
it's
moment.
all mixed. Because it's all mixed. Exactly. I
So
don't
it's
wanna
not the
hear
raw vocals.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even then, the stuff that I record is still raw. You know, and you might have to equalize it here and there. You might have to adjust it here and there. But there's no effects on my vocals whatsoever.
No, you have a nice voice. I enjoy vocals. I enjoy to hear, and yours is nice. Like don't get me wrong.
I feel like you didn't get the full effect on the beginning.
No, not on
trying
this
to
one.
sing Pisces.
No, but I heard the other ones. Like I said, I heard the Star Spangled Banner, which is a difficult song to do. And don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna say you're like Alicia Keys or anything that.
No.
But you do have your own thing and your own wave. And then I enjoyed it, and it was good. It's hard to deliver that song, Star Spangled Banner.
Thank you.
And again, I know that I didn't hear everything that I could, but I did hear a lot. I think I went through all the videos on your YouTube. And heard a lot of different things. So I got a good read of like what you can do, and I know you can go more. But the fact that you can like what you did just a second
Change
ago.
my vocals too.
Yeah. Well, what we said earlier, it was like why can't I ever get it right? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or the Beauty and the
Dr.
Beast,
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, yeah.
or the Beauty and the Beast. Like one moment you're like the beauty, and before you know it's like a Beastie Boys, but you know it still sounds like cool. Like that's crazy to me. That's a talent.
Thank you.
I don't know if you're the only one. And to mention that you said you were about maybe like one or two Latinas that does the kind of genre of music that you do. That's
It's
super dope.
vocalist wise, yeah.
That's super dope. Well, I don't think you should be nervous. Just do your thing. I know you know what you're doing. You've been singing forever and a day, probably since your mama probably she was playing that music back in the day.
My mom used to do opera, play piano, and
What?
yeah.
See, it's in your blood.
It's kind of in the blood, yeah.
It's in your blood. Like don't be nervous or anything. Okay, so how is the Hot Topic influencing going? Have you gotten it yet?
Gosh.
Did they accept it yet? What's
I
wrong with
haven't
them?
heard anything. Actually, I haven't checked my emails in like a week.
Ooh.
But
Ooh. You might have a surprise that you didn't even know.
probably.
Possible.
But probably not. You know, it's kind of one of those things that's just like they want to me, I feel like they kind of want someone with like a broader following, and so, and you know, they probably get a lot of applications.
Well, here's my thing: they better get you now before it gets bigger, because then after that, they're gonna have to cough up a bigger bag. That's all I'm saying. Hot topic, y'all better get on it. I'm just saying. Hey.
Oh man, I would love that. Though.
I don't think you're gonna stop doing what you're doing and growing your audience, because it's been growing.
Yeah, and I also I model for Gothic Babe Store too. And
what is that?
So gothicbabe.co is a really cool website, and actually they're the only ones that don't fully sponsor me. You know, I don't get discounts from them, and they don't. They really don't reach out to me or anything. But I do have a photo on their website. They actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, you know, can we use this photo?" Because I take pictures in their stuff. They do post my pictures of me modeling in their stuff on their social media, and then I get a couple of more followers. But I do it because I actually love that company.
Okay, the modeling. We didn't talk about. We've been talking mostly about the music. How did that modeling come to be, or where did you decided to start doing it? And have you been doing it for some time?
Kind of, yes. So I started when I was a bit of a gearhead growing up. When I was 16, got my first little hybrid sports car. Thought I was cool. So then.
So you're into the Fast and the Furious type of thing.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think of the whole series now? It's not the same like the original.
From what I'm hearing about this next one that's supposed to come out, I'm a little upset. Because I don't want there to be, somebody said something about aliens and them going to space in a rocket. And I'm like, please tell me that this is just jokes, because.
I think that was a joke, but I think they got way on the other side compared to when they started.
No, it got so much more intense and dangerous. When Giselle died, I cried. I was like, no. And then Han, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the original Fast and Furious with the cars racing and all that, because it started a whole culture of people doing that.
Yeah, it did.
It influenced for up to maybe Tokyo Drift, and then it went to another place. I'm like, okay, I get it. There's action, but it's like, whoa.
There's a whole storyline too. Like, it's one of those things. Like, you've got to be interested to follow the storyline.
I guess I got disinterested. That's what happened. So you were a gearhead, started doing that, and then? And then
I went to. I used to go to All Team Bash all the time. That was here, actually located here. Actually, just kidding. I went once. But I used to go to car shows all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And here, whenever I went to All Team Bash, I got invited to do it was like a breast cancer awareness cruise. So I ended up coming up for that, and we ended up driving up behind the Gas Monkey Live.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a couple models out there taking pictures on the cars and stuff, and the models they ran up to me and they were like, hey, like, we never have female drivers that say yes, because I guess girls are always jealous against other girls. I don't understand. It's annoying. But they were just like super excited, and I was just like, okay, Audrey and Sarir. And I remember them specifically because I'm like, you know what, like, I really kind of want to do that. Right. But I didn't really fully was just like, okay, you know what? Like, nah, that's just not my thing. I'm not a girly girl. Well, then I kind of applied at Twin Peaks as a joke. And I ended up getting an interview on the spot.
You did get the job.
Yeah.
I saw the TikTok too about that. Oh, my goodness.
I was like, what the heck? So then I had to, you literally have to go by a list of stuff they have to do. Your nails have to be done. Yep. Your makeup has to be done. You have to wear a sparkly belt. You got to wear, like, the knee-high socks and the
You got to buy all that out of pocket?
Well, yeah, technically, yes.
That's messed up.
The shorts, too. Well, actually, the money is really good, so you didn't even have to worry about that. Okay, so when I worked at the South Fort Worth location, I was getting paid maybe $300 to $500 a day. Slow day, $300. Big shift where it was super busy, $500, and then full day if I was working morning, like open to close, maybe an hour break. Then I'd come home with like $800, $900. It was nice, and that's a weekday. Yeah. So it was worth it. Yeah. You'd get that money back, but then of course you're walking around in a crop top and booty shorts and.
Clothes is new technology.
Oh, yeah,
we used to walk around with nothing,
I'm gonna say that's true until you've bit the apple.
Yeah, until that happened, then But before we were like running around with nothing. Just saying. So you applied for that, and then what happened after that?
So when I got the job, I was like, dang, I really gotta be a girl. And then I started seeing the other girls like with their belly button piercings. I was like, I want to get my belly button piercing, and then it got pierced upside down.
Ouch.
I was like, well, that's fun. But it wasn't bad. It healed fine. It took longer to heal than I thought, but
yeah,
it was fine. And then,
so you will be more, like, you think you'll be more of a tomboy?
I used to be.
You used to be more of a tomboy.
I think I still am. Probably haven't waxed my eyebrows since I moved to DFW, which is about 2.5 years.
Now I'm looking at you, like, trying to not to look at it. Like, why just? No, they look fine. I'm just saying, I don't know. First of all, what y'all do, but still, they don't look.
And I won't spend more than $5 on my nails. That's a no-go.
Well, first of all, you don't have a unibrow, so you got that going for you, and you have them all intact. You don't have a tattoo, so that's good. Protect your eyebrows. And I don't know about the nails thing, but they look great from what I'm able to see.
Yeah, I think these were actually like $7 at Walmart. I won't spend more than like $7, but yeah.
Hey, nothing wrong.
I had a hint that I was being proposed to. I was like, okay, I gotta go buy nails, and I gotta glue them on.
So okay, so you had. I thought about that too. Like, I wonder if you had any clue that was gonna happen.
So we kind of talked about it for sure. We already had the rings because I'm picky. I want to make sure, like, I want my ring to look.
Oh, I know the flowers. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, well, the flower thing that I'd been telling him, I'm like, I want to be proposed to with some sunflowers. And so, did you see the post where it was like, okay, I'm finding random sunflowers all over the place, and he goes, well, the cats probably brought it in. It was the petals. I was finding little yellow petals, and he had just bought me a bouquet of roses, and this was 2 days ago, literally. And I'm like, why am I seeing yellow petals? He goes, oh, the cats brought them in. I'm like, yeah, these cats are inside cats. They're totally going to.
So he was trying to clue you in a little bit?
Kind of. He actually told me, he admitted to me today that he put the one of the sunflower petals by my makeup in the bathroom on purpose. And then when I found the other one, the first one I found on the floor.
I like that. Let me take notes. I'm going to leave clues before ring. All right, got it. Go ahead.
But make sure you listen to your girl whenever she says, hey, I want to be proposed to with X or this is how I want you to do it.
About that, because I watched some of them, not all of them, but I was referring to the other flower thing about, like, I don't need to tell you to give me flowers because
that one. I'm tired of telling that boy to buy me flowers. Like, it's funny because I'll tell him to buy me flowers, and then he won't buy me flowers because he's like, well, if I buy you flowers, you're going to think that I told you, you're going to think that I bought you flowers because you told me to.
But why do you want to kill the flowers? Why can't you just leave them
The flowers are already dead. You might as well put them somewhere pretty.
I'm kidding, but I thought it was funny that how you... First of all, okay, so here's the thing that you don't understand. Like, men, we don't get the clues that y'all, like, y'all feel like so.
We tell you the clues.
But again, you do, but certain things.
Certain girls don't.
Certain girls don't, and then let's say, oh, it'll be nice to do this instead of like. And don't get me wrong, it loses a little bit of the like romanticism, I guess. Mm-hmm. If you tell me I would like to like flowers, but if y'all had a relationship like that, that's cool. But certain ladies will be like, oh, it would be cool if I get some flowers, or it'll be like that. And I don't know why I'm doing the voice like that. But
I'm gonna say, not all girls sound like that.
But it'll be like the dude probably thinking about, like, man, I need to finish this at work, and God, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I haven't paid the bill or whatever, and then before you know, like, oh yeah, that would be nice, and you didn't hear nothing that she said.
Exactly. And
then you have no clue, but then she gets frustrated because she told you, but she didn't.
She threw out a hint that she wants a nice gesture.
We're terrible at freaking clues, hints, all that, like, and it sounds bad, but y'all don't understand how bad we are at that stuff.
That's the thing, is y'all are one-minded, and women think about everything all at once. Look at your face.
Well, that's the thing too. I'll give 100%. I was ex-military, like I said. I seen women handle like 50 caliber weapons and stuff like that. I know they're so capable of doing, and the mind part too is more than us. I'm not able to chew gum, drive, and talk on the phone at the same time. It's been proven because I got a ticket as I was on the phone chewing gum, talking to whoever, and before you know it, like, oh dang, I was going too fast, and I have to like, you know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
not concentrated on everything that was happening, and I was going too fast, and I got pulled over. So I can't chew gum, be on the phone, and drive at the same time. There's way too many tasks going on. You know what I mean? So I give it to you. Y'all do have more. First of all, you can't multitask. That's scientifically proven. But y'all really better in brain stuff than us and other stuff. I give it to y'all.
Thank you.
I have no problem saying that. But I'm saying we're terrible at clues.
Yep.
See how you just said. So we are that. But then you expect way more of us, and we're not. We can't give y'all no more.
It's because
have
we
no more
don't
to
want to
give.
tell you to give us that nice
I know,
gesture.
because
We want you to automatically think like, okay, maybe this is gonna be a nice gesture for her.
But was he always like that? First of all, let's talk about that. Was he always like that? Has he always been like that? Or are you trying to make him to where he can do things like? Because they are nice. Don't get me wrong. If I was like in a relationship with a girl, I would want to just surprise her with random things just because it's sweet and things like that. But sometimes if he wasn't like that and not used to that, then it's kind of hard to like get him to do stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Well, in the beginning, he had never really been the type to, buy flowers for someone or take someone out on dates and that kind of thing. So with me, it's like, okay, that's how I always had been in relationships with. They took me out on dates. I would get a flower or two occasionally. It wasn't anything like totally special. Like he's brought in my life, but
Yeah.
in the beginning, he actually sent it to my job because when we first met, we lived 4 hours away.
Whoa.
Yeah, so he actually had flowers sent to me, and I was like, okay, I really like this. And so then little by little, a couple months would go by, and he would buy me another flower. Even so much as like Walgreens flowers. I am perfectly fine with that. $2 flowers at Walgreens, cool.
Yeah.
If you go outside and pick a flower for me, cool. At least I know that you're thinking about me. But then, most relationships in the beginning, it's always perfect.
The puppy love. The
exactly.
blind puppy love. I know
Well,
the
then,
feeling.
You start to get comfortable with each other, and you start to lose.
I already got it. I
touch
don't need
with
to
each
buy
other.
no chocolates or nothing.
Yeah, you're
She
just
ain't
like, oh,
going
okay, I already
nowhere.
got her. She's fine. Exactly.
But we don't think like that. You know what I mean? I'm saying
It's not
that,
exactly
but it's not
what you're
that.
thinking, but it's how your actions kind of show.
But we don't think that. But I see what you're saying. That like we're taking for granted what's happening. What got you to be interested?
You get comfortable with your partner.
Exactly.
So then I started throwing out more hints, like, hey, we should have some flowers on the counter. Like, I miss getting flowers.
That's a pretty direct like hint.
I'm very direct.
No, but I'm saying that's like if you miss that one, I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like that's like literally.
We went to Walmart the other day, and I saw some really pretty flowers. I couldn't even tell you the names of them. They're pink, and they're like $3 flowers, like
That's
the ones
cool.
in the soil.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, I want this one, and then we kept going. And I was like, okay, I want that one too. So
You like to grow flowers and stuff like that?
yes, I used to actually try, but the thing is I always keep my life so busy. Like right now, I work 3 jobs plus being a musician.
I was gonna tell you about that too. How is it that you find time to do different things? Because you're on TikTok, again, 352,000 followers. Instagram's doing well, and YouTube as well. 2 bands, a child, and you just got engaged. Where do you find time in 24 hours to do? And then you have I don't know your situation, but it seems like you still have a regular, based on the TikToks, you still have a regular job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all that, how do you juggle all that?
So I'm an assistant manager at Hot Topic,
Uh-huh.
full time with benefits. And it's been actually a while since I've managed. So I have an amazing boss, an amazing company that's actually teaching me to get back into retail and managing retail. I want to run my own store one day.
That's cool.
But I already personally know, like, okay, I'm far from that. I have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to take the time out to learn that, and I'm going to do my best. But at the same time, before I even started at Hot Topic, while I was waiting for that full-time opportunity for any company, I got offered a job from my friend, call her Daisy, but her name's Ingie. She, funny story. She's actually Rico's ex-wife. And they're, like I said, they're all friends, and it's really nice to see that. So Ingie and her new husband, Jimmy, they actually reached out to me and said, hey, we would really like for you to try out to teach vocals. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, yeah, sure. I was super nervous. I had like 2 students my first day. And little by little, my students started building, and
So you teach as well?
I teach vocals,
Oh,
one-on-one
my
lessons,
goodness.
and I
I
teach
thought I had a
Thursday
lot of
afternoons. Yeah, so that is one of my jobs. I'm kind of a contractor with them.
That's cool.
And then Target. I've been with Target a little over a year. I actually started Target as a fulfillment worker.
So you have 2 jobs?
So Target, Hot Topic, and Arlington School of
So
Music.
you have 4 jobs.
That's 3. And then being a musician, 4.
Well, yeah, 4 jobs.
So-
we're 2 bands, so there's like 5. Where do you find the time? How do you do it?
Thursday afternoons are specifically reserved for the school. Target, I am an on-demand team member, so I work when I'm free. So they'll
Right.
call me in. So if I have a day off, obviously I work 4 days a week at a Hot Topic, or 5 days a week at Hot Topic. Pretty much like an 8 to 5 type thing.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, other than when I'm closing the store, but those are the basic hours, 40 hours a week. So I get 2 days off, and I get Thursdays specifically, and that's for the school, and that's the afternoons. Sometimes I'll work a Thursday morning at a Target, and I'll try to go in early at like 6 in the morning, like a 6 to 2. And that way, I can be at the school by 4:30 or 5. And then, I'll have the rest of the night to myself after that, because I get off at like 7:30. My last student's at 7:30.
Yeah.
And
then the baby and your fiance?
So, them, honestly, it's just whenever I'm at home, throughout the nights or my other day off. Whenever I usually get like a Monday off or a Wednesday off, or sometimes a Tuesday. And either way, we'll take that day as a family day. If he's working, then okay, it'll be me and my daughter. Because he teaches guitar lessons at a guitar center.
Yeah.
So, I spend that day with her, or we'll go run some errands, or go shopping, or we'll go swimming. Swimming has been the one thing that I really always want to do.
That's cool.
Especially when it's hot out. And then also I started running again, trying to run a mile a day. So I get up about an hour before I have to start getting ready.
Do you get any sleep? I'm asking because I don't know how you fit everything in. Do you get any sleep?
He actually lets me sleep in whenever I have a day off.
Okay.
So yesterday was my day off, and I took some ZQL, and I actually went to bed, I think 12:30. Maybe 1:30, and then woke up at like 10:54, and he's like, you don't sleep until 11. I am not a sleeping in person. I have to get up early in the morning, and I get that from my dad.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, my dad, he likes to get up early, but then again, we have horses and stuff, so he's always
So you
up
used to
early.
live in a farm? Kind of.
No, actually no. So we lived kind of on the outskirts of San Angelo. My dad did, and does. And our property with our horses, we have 2 horses right now and a couple of goats, some little chivos.
Chivitos.
And they actually are across the street. So he would just walk across the street and feed them. And of course, me, I can't resist it. So whenever he's not there, or when he wasn't there, I brought my friend Bethany over, and I got on my horse Shadow. I call him Shadow. My dad tried to name him Hidalgo.
Hidalgo?
Yeah, I was no,
Hidalgo.
I'm naming him Shadow.
Shadow.
So
Is he a black horse?
He's the black and white paint.
Black. Okay.
And then we have a white one that you never see in pictures, Vanilla. I named her Vanilla, but she's super skittish. So I don't really kind of mess with her too much.
Yeah.
But Shadow was actually born into the family. I named his mom Lucinda when I was little.
That's cool. Now, if anybody ever said that Latinos, Hispanics, or are lazy or whatever, like it trips me out how many jobs you have, and you still do the music. So mad respect for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and end it because we're running a little bit out of time. However, any shout outs and all your social media, where else can we find you at?
Instagram, onazano.xo. I started a little XO fam. Haven't really been keeping up with it.
Nice.
And then, of course, my YouTube, Onazano. You can find me there. I have 2 YouTube accounts. One of them's like my personal account where I do upload my videos. The other, Onazano, is where my covers from Spotify go. So I have my own. I am a cover artist, so I post a lot of covers on Spotify. And then I do have a Facebook account, Onazano, that I don't really keep up with. Onazano.xo is the same thing. I try to keep everything pretty much the same.
Yeah, that's cool.
But, you can pretty much keep up with my life. I'm an open book.
I
talk about
I told
everything.
you I found a lot in I was only giving it a couple hours, not even, to find. But I found a lot of stuff about you quickly. I'm pretty good. I need to be like a detective or something. And then shout outs. Who do you have to shout outs? I know you have both of the bands, but who else?
Honestly, my fiance, Taylor Dennis, he actually, without him bringing me into it, I started singing with him with his band Dreamkeeper. Mm-hmm. And it made me realize, like, okay, this is really what I wanted. And growing up, I've always wanted to be a singer. But he has Cubase, and I bought the microphone and the soundproofing and that, and I was just like, okay, I want to do this.
So yesterday when you were proposed, they were performing, right?
Yes, and I was on stage with them. Yes, I sing Lost Forever with them now, so they want to re-record Lost Forever with me in it.
I like the way he did it. Well, come here, I got something to tell. I got a lot to tell you.
He said, like, I was just cool. Like, okay, really?
It was pretty cool, and the clues that was pretty detailed oriented. You got to give it to him. That was pretty like,
yeah, right on the money.
That was nice. All right, so again, I do appreciate you very much. I hope. And I wish you all the luck in the world. Again, you have the work ethic to maintain all these jobs. And again, I hope that y'all do hit it big. And then I'll have you on everything. Now I think I have you on everything. But I was checking for that joke. Cat joke. All right. So this is the Global Latin Factor podcast. Again, we are just like you. We are the spice in this global melting pot that it is the world. We'll see you next time. Hasta la vista.